Alright, hey guys, Pax here, welcome back to another Pokemon Pocket video. As the title states, we'll be going over Mega Metagross EX. Took me nearly 2 weeks, but I'm finally going over this Metal type Mega. But yeah, this is Mega Metagross EX, HP 230, Stage 2 of course. Has 1 attack, Gatling Slug. Requires 3 colorless energy. Does 100 base damage. This attack does 10 more damage for each Metal type energy attached to this Pokemon. So fully built with 3 Metal type energy attached, this guy does 130. Has a retreat value of 3, and weakness of course is fire type. This is a deck that's right here. 2D pattern code, it will also be in the top left of the screen as you can see. Pairing Metagross with Dialga. It's a very straightforward deck. Ideally you want to lead with Dialga EX. Eventually sub into Metagross and sweep your opponent just like that. I'll explain all my card choices later on in this video, but yeah, if you guys are new to my channel, really would appreciate it if you like to subscribe. Really does help me out, especially as a small time content creator. Without further ado, let's get right into the deck showcase. Alright, here we are in our first battle. We're going first up against the Mega Gallade EX solo deck, which is pretty nice because looking at Beldum, has an ability Conductive Body. If you have another Beldum in play, this Pokemon's retreat cost is 2 less, meaning that if you have 2, you can easily sub out of Beldum and hopefully into Dialga EX. Pulling a Pokeball, very nice. Sub into Dialga and end our turn. Looking at this setup, obviously you want to go second just to maximize energy. Going first is not too ideal, but our setup isn't too bad overall. The main issue is that next turn, my opponent could theoretically attack with Gallade. If they put Wally, so we shall see. Hitmonchan is out. Arena of Antiquity as well. Okay, opponent teleports into Hitmonchan. Dialga taking 70 damage next turn. It'll take 3 turns until it can get knocked out. Alright, at this point I'm just going to Professor's Research. You have 2 copycats in our hand. Rare Candy. All we need now is a Metagross and we're pretty much chillin'. So yeah, feed Dialga. Next turn Dialga can attack, feeding the Beldum. So you kind of see a main flaw with this deck. The majority of the Pokemon are EXs. So if you go up against Oricorio, you might be screwed. Which is why if you want, you could run something such as Megarna just as an Oricorio counter. But even then, I mean, this deck is very slow for the most part. So we should be fine. I might save Look at Ice Pop for later for the Beldum, just in case. Damn, I'm just gonna chill like this. Very awkward. I could Copycat, but we have a May. We have 7 cards as well, so if we pull a Dialga, we can easily substitute it for a Metagross. But just like this, Metallic Turbo, feeding the Beldum. Next turn, Metagross can attack. Yeah, all opponent does is attack with Hitmonchan. Next turn, Dialga will get one-shotted. We pull a Sabrina. Screw it, I'm gonna believe in Look at Ice Pop. This will be amazing if we can heal over 70 HP. Can go either way. Okay, so we got heads. Second coin flip, we need to get 2 more heads. Okay, 1 more. 1 more heads, and this will be absolutely huge. This will make it so that Dialga can survive for 1 more turn. Okay, of course, getting tails just right when I needed it. You gotta love Look at Ice Pop. Healing up to the right amount of HP to get one-shotted. So yeah, Hitmonchan's doing 70. If you got 20 more HP, then we could have just fed. Next turn, Heavy Impact, getting a huge lead against my opponent. But this should still be fine. If anything, we have Sabrina, which could help out towards the late game. So for now, once again, Metallic Turbo. Setting up for next turn. Once again, we need to pull a Metagross or else we lose our next turn. Alright, here we go. Moment of truth. Worst case scenario, I might be forced to Copycat. We got Pokeball. Okay, that's huge. So we can just do this. Guaranteeing us a Dialga. And because of May, getting our 2 Metagrosses. Metagrai out. Rare Candy, just like that, Metagross is out. With 6 energy, doing 160. Just like this. One-shotting Hitmonchan. Next turn, we got Sabrina. So again, as long as my opponent doesn't Sabrina, this should be an easy win. Yeah, I'm not able to evolve into Mega Gallade. That's pretty rough. But yeah, that's ideally how you want to play this deck. You want to lead with Dialga. Eventually get Metagross out. Speaking of Dialga, we got the shiny one right here. Nice. But just like this, doing 170. Gatling Gun. Rest in peace, Marshadow. Taking the win just like that. Didn't really have the Sabrina, but Marshadow, I'm sorry. Nothing personal. But yeah, with that being said, we should see how this deck performs in PvP. Alright, here we are in PvP battle. We are going second. Leading with Dialga. Saving the second copy of Dialga just in case we have to May. Opponent Hiking Trails, Professor Researches. Places a second copy of Electrike in the bench. Attempts to Electrical Generator. Fails. Ooh, boy. At this point, we might as well just play like this. So, Copycat. Please give me a Beldum. This would be amazing if we can pull that. Okay, not much of a change. Nice. So we got Metagross. If you don't get Beldum out next turn, then we'll have to feed the Dialga in the bench. Pokeballs as well. Getting a lot of value this turn, especially with Hiking Trail. Oricorio. Okay. Alright. First PvP battle, we are going up against Oricorio. This is not good at all. On the bright side, we did get May, so we can do this now. Yeah. And this is not too bad. I mean, for one thing, we are doing damage to Mega Manectric. So, Metallic Turbo, if my opponent doesn't heal up this damage, we should be good in a couple turns. So, yeah, feeding Beldum. Next turn, if you get Metagross out, Metagross is only doing 130. The Electrical Generator. Oricorio can attack this turn. We can still win this. Once again, if they don't heal up that damage from Manectric, we got Cyrus. Coming clutch in 2-ish turns. You gotta feed this guy a bit more. 2 Oricorios, very scary. Opponent subs into Oricorio. Dialga takes 50 damage. Hiking Trails as well. They're at 3 cards left. We have 12. We got lucky Ice Pop. I'm gonna do this, yeah, just in case they decide to copycat. Let's heal up a little bit. I could copycat as well, but our hand is very good. If anything, next turn I can copycat. Yes. Let's do this Metallic Turbo. Doing 0 damage onto Oricorio, but feeding Beldum nevertheless. All opponent does is feed Mega Manectric. Heart of the cards, please. You got Heavy Helmet? Yeah, at this point I'm gonna copycat. Please, man. All I need is a Rare Candy, Metagross, and a Cyrus. Pokeball, Beldum. Okay, this is very awkward. We got 2 Pokeballs. On the bright side, we are getting some value from Hiking Trail, so that could help us out in the long run. Once again, feed Beldum. Okay. Please, all I want is a Metagross and Cyrus. And I basically win. Metagross is gonna hit like a truck once it comes out. And like, next turn, huge. Okay, that's actually huge. But we need a Cyrus now. Once again, it's very hard to work with Oricorio. But at the same time, they're doing pretty bad. I don't know if this deck has healing, because they should just heal up that damage from Manectric at this point. Not too bad. So we got 2 Metagrosses out. Metagross. The Metagross yet again. Metallic Turbo. Dialga will get one-shotted. But next turn, I should have a Cyrus. This guy's doing a lot of damage. 11 energy attach. Sabrina, Cyrus. As long as this guy doesn't heal up, I win. Okay, all they do is attack. Getting their first 2 points, just like that. Oh no, please let it happen, man. I want to see this damage. I want to see this damage. They have to know I have Cyrus. There's no way. Just let it happen. I swear, if this guy concedes, I'm gonna lose it. Don't concede. Just let it be. There we go. 220 onto Manectric. So even with Oricorio, Cyrus is a huge win condition, as you can see. Oricorio can't do anything. It can definitely be a wall, but if you do damage onto Mega EX early game, Metagross can cook, especially paired with Cyrus, as you can see. Opponent definitely messed up. Hindsight, they probably shouldn't have evolved into Mega Manectric that early, because if they didn't evolve, I would have lost. There would be no way for me to win. Sure, I got Sabrina, but I could easily sub into a second copy of Oricorio. Alright, next battle going second, up against Mega Rayquaza EX. Opponent order pads getting Tails, Pokeballs, Professor Researches, gets out 2 Dratinis. Can we please pull a Dialga? We do not. Very awkward. So now, let's feed Beldum, and our turn. There's a chance this guy could get one-shotted. My opponent evolves into at least 1 Dragonair and Rainbow Caves. Unable to Rainbow Cave, but they evolved into Dragonair. Pokeball, we got Dialga. At this point, Professor's Research. Please give me a rare candy. No rare candy. This is fine, but we need one next turn or else we're pretty much screwed. So, yeah, let's feed Dialga. And our turn. Next turn, Rayquaza can do at least 100 damage. What should they do? All they do is feed Rayquaza attack. Next turn, they can do the same thing, doing 100. Heavy Helmet doesn't do anything for Dialga. Might as well do it to the Beldum. Lucky Ice Pop, sure. We might be forced to copycat. Only getting it once. Nice. Copycat. Okay. Not the worst. I mean, we can definitely chill with this, but we need to get out Metagross next turn. Also, we lose. So doing damage on to Rayquaza. Beating Beldum next turn. Metagross, if you can get it out, will be doing 140 damage. Opponent Potions. It's actually been a while since I've seen Potion. A very interesting deck running Potion and Order Pad. Only healing 20, I don't think that really matters in the long run. I mean, I'm not one-shotting next turn if I do get Metagross. This is painful. I have two choices here. I can either risk a copycat or Sabrina just buying me one more turn. We pull a May, which doesn't help too much. Yeah, because if he's Sabrina, they could sub into Dratini. But if they pull another Dragonair, it's over. Because Mega Rayquaza will be doing 100 damage, so... I'm going to risk it. Why not? I'm going to risk it for the biscuit at this point. Better to be super aggressive. Please. Rare candy. Metagross, please! Perfect. Okay, this is huge. And we got Cyrus as well. So as long as my opponent doesn't Sabrina, this should be an easy win. If they Sabrina, it's over. Which is definitely the scary part running this deck, because Sabrina can get insane value towards the late game. Metagross is looking like a tank, but Beldum is very frail. Okay, opponent gets a second copy of Dragonair out, doing a minimum of 150 damage this turn. No Sabrina, just attacking headlong, doing 130. This is insane, man. So yeah, the biggest struggle using this deck is getting Metagross out. As you can see, even with two copycats, Professors, May, definitely takes a while. Just like this, much respect, hitting for 150. Rest in peace, Rayquaza. I feel like I shouldn't have won that, but Mega Metagross standing on top. Totally better than Rayquaza, 100%. Please give me a Dialga. We got another Beldum instead. I'm actually going to hold off on placing Beldum, just in case I pull May next turn. But look at this Hitmonchan. This guy is intense. Holy crap. What the fuck did the Leaf do to this guy? This guy has like an irrational fear to Leaves. Leaves killed his family. Bayleaf was his massacre. This Hitmonchan's whole lineage, and he wants revenge, punching that Leaf. For now, I'm actually going to Sabrina just to mess them up a little bit. Subbing in to Gible. Ends our turn. Opponent Pokeballs places down Riolu, attacks with Gible. You can heal up that damage very easily. Pulling a Pokeball, perfect. This is actually very amazing. So now we can get Dialga out. Look at Ice Pop just to prevent a Cyrus early game. And we keep it as well. That's pretty huge. Place on Dialga. And because of the second copy of Beldum, we got a free retreat on this one. Be Dialga and end our turn. So this deck has a very similar playstyle to Mega Gardevoir, Mega Diancie. However, that deck is obviously better because of all the support, the psychic support that you have. Diancie helping with healing, Meloetta helping with consistency, getting out Mega Gardevoir. We still have Lucky Ice Pop, which is pretty huge. I'm just going to keep on using it at this point. Next turn, Hitmonchan will be doing at least 90 damage. So why not? Let's get Dialga back to full health. Not so much, but if my opponent does Karina, Dialga will still be surviving, so that's pretty good. Once again, Metallic Turbo. Beating Beldum. Alright. I'm going to risk it. Please give me a Rare Candy Metagross. And a Cyrus. That would be amazing. You get Metagross, May, and Leaf. All we need now is a Rare Candy and we are cooking. But look at my opponent's board. All they have is Lucario and Gible for now, so not too scary. Regardless, Dialga will get one-shotted next turn. Opponent Lucky Ice Pops doesn't really matter too much because if you get Metagross out, Bro can one-shot Hitmonchan. Once again, ultimately coming down to one turn. It's either I win or lose, depending on what happens right now. Cyrus. Okay. Nice. Once again, if you want to run a deck that strives on hitting hard, hitting like a truck, I would definitely invest in Mega Gardevoir Diancie over Mega Metagross Dialga. Because yeah, all we could do now is just ram. Yeah, I'm going to do more battle. This was kind of anticlimactic. You're going to break a lot using this deck. Again, even despite having like copycats, May, Professor, you're going to have a hard time getting out Mega Metagross. And even towards the late game, once again, once Dialga gets knocked out, you're at the mercy of Sabrina. Because all it takes is one Sabrina for your opponent to potentially secure the win. Alright, last battle, going second. Going up against a Sharpedo Gyarados deck. Pulling Dialga, not too bad. Professor, please give us a Pokeball, huge. Please give us a Beldum so that we can sub in to Dialga. All we need now is a Metagross and we're pretty much set. So yeah, sub out a Beldum into Dialga and end our turn. All opponent does is feed Magikarp. Next turn, Gyarados can do a ton of damage. We pull Metagross, so Metagross is out. Very straightforward Metallic Turbo. Beating Metagross, next turn Metagross can attack, doing 130 damage. Alright, here we go. Mega Gyarados is out, doing 140 onto Dialga. This guy will be surviving with 10 HP, which is huge. At this point, just May for fun. Just looking at our cards, yeah. Nice, we got a Metagross. Just wanted to say hi. Retreat out of Dialga. Beat Metagross. Doing 130. It should be GG unless my opponent's able to heal. The Heavy Helmet. Lucky Ice Pop. It all comes down to Lucky Ice Pop. Tails, okay. That's pretty huge. We should be able to win unless they Soothing Shore. Keep in mind, next turn I'm doing 120. They Copycat as well. If they don't Lucky Ice Pop, it should be GG. And it's looking like it. Yep, all they do is attack with Gyarados. Just like that, taking the win. So yeah, as you can see, you can still make Metagross work. However, you need the right amount of RNG, the right setup. Taking the win just like this. Much respect for not surrendering. Doing exactly 120 onto Mega Gyarados EX. And yeah, that is the Mega Metagross EX deck showcase. And yeah, that is the video. Hope you guys did enjoy. Overall, this deck is... it's okay. There are far better decks in the meta, but I don't think this deck is too good or too bad. It's like... it's basically the definition of mid, pretty much. I feel kind of sad to say, but Mega Metagross is mid for the most part. It could change, especially if they do add a much better Metang or even Beldum card. It can very much change, but for now in this current meta, Ruler of the Skies, it's not too impressive. If you want a very decent deck to start out with, then yeah, might as well invest in this. But even then, I mean, I would argue that Hydreigon Mega Absol is a far better investment. For one thing, especially as a new player, both Hydreigon and Mega Absol come from the same pack. So yeah, far easier to make that deck since you only have to open from one pack in order to acquire most of the Pokemon. Whereas for this deck, to get Dialga, you have to open from Spacetime Smackdown. So depending on RNG, it might take you a while to pull Dialga. But at the same time, Deluxe Pack should be back from the time that I'm uploading this video. So you have a chance to get Dialga from that. But yeah, as I mentioned, another deck that has a very similar playstyle to Mega Metagross is Mega Gardevoir, Mega Diancie. If you guys are curious, I'm just going to pull it up for reference. So just looking at this, once again, for one thing, this deck has Meloetta. An amazing ability, helps tremendously with getting your Pokemon out, as well as doing some decent damage onto Oricorio, doing 50 after being fed 2 energy. And of course, we have Diantha. Peculiar Plaza makes life much easier, so yeah, it's rough, man. I'll be honest, especially after this current pack, I feel like the worst type is most likely Metal type at this stage of the game. Like, Dragon type got some buffs. Very much appreciated. Fighting type as well. Pre-posting Aura, Fighting type was in ruins. Kind of digressing, but it's not been good. Like, yeah, we got Corviknight, pretty mid. Mega Scizor was actually pretty decent. Very fun. Steelix, still debatably the best Metal Mega EX. And now we have, of course, Mega Metagross. Yeah, personally, I don't think the build-up is worth it, especially since it is a stage 2, of course. So, as you can see from this video, you will struggle to get it out, for the most part, depending on your RNG. Dialga provides as amazing metal type energy support, but even then I feel like nowadays it's kind of outdated, especially since for one thing it is an EX. So once it gets knocked out, depending on the stage of the game, depending on the scenario, if you're putting Sabrinas, they could easily win just like that. Also, this is the meta where chipping the bench is very common, so if you want, instead of Heavy Helmet, you could run Protective Poncho. That could help out a little bit. Once again, 2D pattern code is right here. Overall, I'd rate this deck C tier. I think solid C is fine. Once again, if you go up against Oricorio, you are screwed. So as I mentioned before, if you want to run something such as Megarna, you can very much do so, able to one-shot Oricorio. But at the same time, focusing on feeding Megarna will stray away from the main focus of this deck, which is feeding Metagross, getting it built as much as you can. As a Metagross fan, I'm kind of disappointed. Like, I'm not angry, I'm not sad, just disappointed at Mega Metagross, because I wanted this guy to be good. I wanted him to have the same aura as Mega Lucario, absolutely game-changing, putting Metal type back into the map. But looking at this, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this EX gets replaced by a much better Metal type EX card or even non-EX card next month. Wouldn't be surprised if that happens. But yeah, it's a video. Once again, hopefully you guys did enjoy. Hopefully you found this video informative as well as a bit entertaining. I tried to be. As always, leaving a like and subscribing would be greatly appreciated. And yeah, with that being said, I'll see you guys on my next video. Peace.